fighting another person single sword, or maybe you've lost your arm, whatever. We have 4 quadrants: upper shoulders and hips. And then we have 3 lanes. We have both outside lanes and the middle lane. For single sword, when we're blocking, we want to block off the middle lane because that's the closest we are to people. We want to cover the lower quadrant and the upper quadrant. So our hand is almost level with our hip and crossed. And then depending on how comfortable you are fighting that person, your sword goes out or in. Okay, so if you're not comfortable fighting a person, your sword goes out. That way they don't rush you. You have a good chance of poking them. If you are comfortable fighting the person, or the person's pretty timid, you want your sword closer to you. That invites them coming closer to you, so you don't have to work as hard to get to them. So showing on Chaco, I'm really comfortable fighting Chaco, so I want my sword in. He's not as comfortable fighting me, so he pokes it out, and I cover. He's hand matching me. Hand matching gives you the advantage of putting your closest body part to their closest body part. So you have the mindset of, I can only reach this arm. I can't reach his body. I have a good chance of reaching his arm, which means he has the same thing on me. So he can really only reach this arm. I'm going to turn just a little more to invite that arm. That way I know where his shot's going to go. I have a much better chance of blocking and then returning. When you're fighting single sword, you almost always want to return after you get a block, because you're not going to get very many opportunities, especially if you have already lost his arm. So when he throws a shot, I want to immediately return to his arm, and you can do that on either side. So that way you know, say I've lost my primary arm, I get a block, I return. And that's going to be your best chance of winning, especially if you've already lost your arm. Hand matching gives you that great opportunity of knowing where the shot's going to go. The second part of this class, when I throw a shot, what's the most likely return? If I throw an outside shot, the most likely return is going to be here. So my immediate block is going to be turning and getting that block. And then I'm going to reset because I don't have a good shot from there. Unless I want a simo, then I'm just going to go in. But that's the biggest thing. The reason why I kill most people is I know what the most likely return is for whatever shot I throw. And I'll do that a lot with opening on throwing to hands. I know I can't hit Chaco, but if I throw to a hand and he blocks, he's most likely going to return, and then I'm going to throw in. So I'm forcing him to throw something that I can block, an easy block, because I know where it's going to go. I almost always is going to be right here, because this is what I'm opening up. So I know that's going to be my block, and then probably a return. That's 90% of why I win fights. I know what that return that he's going to throw is. I know where my block needs to be, and then I've already set up another shot in my mind. So always single sword, you want to cross your body, block as many quadrants as you can, know what's open. So you're turning, giving them that arm, that's the opening, and then you're giving a return because you automatically know what your shot is afterwards. Okay, so preferred kit. The same thing here. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to ask you guys what you think is open in my stance. Where do you want to hit me?
Instinct tells me go for the leg, but that is usually not the right.
Right, because if you swing for my leg, I'm going to swing for your arm.
Yeah.
So let me get a little closer. This is about where I engage at. I can't hit you, but I know with the step in I can.
Yes.
So here, where do you want to hit me? Is that what you're picking based on where I'm standing? Or is that where you want to hit me?
That's what I'm picking based on where the shield is.
Okay, so that's why I get everybody. Because I'll start right here, and I'll put my shield a little out. You'll see that? When I take that step in, my shield's covering that shot. But that was the last place you saw, so that's where you want to throw. When I step in, you're going to react because I've gotten closer. When you throw that shot, I'm going to take you out. So it's called a bait. So I want all of you to forget what you see when you walk up to somebody other than what hand is holding their weapon and what leg is forward. The reason why you want to look at what leg is forward, because you know how far they can step. If my sword leg is forward, when I attack, I can only take that small step because I want to keep my sword leg forward. If I take the big step, I've lost all of my reach and everything because I'm blocking off this sword, and now I have to throw to the shield. The only reason I'm going to take that big step is if I fake to the shield and hit the hip. So you automatically know that I can only take a small step. But usually that small step is all I need because I've forced you to throw to where that bait was, and I'm taking the return. So what I want you all to focus on is where you want to hit somebody. So when you pick where you want to hit somebody, then it becomes the mind game of how do I open that spot so I can hit them. So I want to hit this guy right here because it's just my favorite shot. So to do that, I have to make sure that this sword is out of the way because most good people will block with the weapon that you're throwing to. So I don't want him to be able to block with his hand or his pommel. And I have to move the shield just a little to make it really easy to hit here. So to do that, I'm going to throw here. I got the flinch right away. I'm not even connecting. Already got the flinch. And then I'm going to come down and in. So that's what I want to do. To do that, I just have to move the shield and then pop in. Sometimes you'll get him to move both. He's still blocking here. So that the first time I know there's no return here other than my arm. Block out, and I'm good. So I get to do it again. So the big part is just picking where you want to hit somebody. Don't look for the opening that they're showing you, because 9 times out of 10 it's this, and they're covering. The other thing that I want you guys to practice today and at home is when you throw your favorite shot, what's the return they're going to throw on you? So like when I come in and he throws this shoulder, I'm going to block, I'm going to take his arm. So you have to think, okay, so that's what's going to happen. How do I throw this shot and block at the same time? Or block as an instant return? So I know you're not getting that arm because you're going to come down on the arm. I'm automatically blocking, and then I get to return with my favorite shot anyway. Where do you want to hit me?
If I'm in a game right now, I'm running.
Yes. Okay, so you're back in the corner. I'm probably going to take it a little easy on you because you only have a single dagger. Where do you want to hit me? Okay. So I can tell you right now that I'm going to come in on this side because that's where you're not blocking. You're blocking off this lane instead of the middle. So your surprise tactic is going to be to switch your dagger from that hand to that hand, block, and then hit me. And then hit me a whole bunch because you only have a dagger, and you might not get it the first time. Okay. Edward, where do you want to hit me?
I want to hit your legs.
You want to hit my legs? Because you're a lefty, you do have that opportunity because you get to swing and hide behind your shield at the same time. And you only have to block this side, so that's really good for you. Don't swing for people's legs. It is so easy to overextend yourself when you swing for a leg, but you have the same opportunity here that nobody else has because you're on that right or that left side. If you, instead of swinging for the leg, if you just tilt up just a little, you get a hit. Lefty scoop is unbelievably awesome, kills 90% of the time. It's when my wife wrecks all of it. I teach this. I'm not hitting your hip, I'm hitting your arm. If I'm getting one shot in there, I'm hitting 2 on it, separately. Where do you want to hit me?
Sort of.
Is that your preferred kit? Flame Wizard?
Yeah.
You want to hit my sword arm? Okay, how are you going to do that? I'm obviously not going to give you a sword arm right here.
Right.
What are you going to do that?
I'm going to try to bait you to come out.
Okay. So if you want to hit my sword arm, you're going to hit it.
Right.
So you're going to throw that same lefty scoop.
Alright.
You get right under my shield, or right under my pommel into my arm. Okay? And then the return for me is coming right down on you. So that block looks like this.
Right.
Scoop, and then you just pop your wrist off. Okay? You hit first and then pop. So any shot that you throw, you should be thinking about where the return is. I'm going to try to come down here. I'm going to know your return. So it's going to be here. And then I'm going to throw the outside again.
Right here.
So that's just me thinking what works for my body.
Right.
But when you're practicing, first think, where's the return? Okay, I'm
Right.
throwing this shot. The return is obviously straight down. I'm going to block. Maybe reset because you can't throw the second or third shot. But you want to get that, at least the original block.
Okay.
Where do you want to hit it?
Pretty close on mine. So.
Exactly. The only opening I give people is that shoulder.
Right. Which you're going to do.
Yep, exactly. So if I really am uncomfortable fighting somebody, my hand's going to be really low, so I block the hip. And then I'm going to throw feeler shots to see how you react. I love that you're twisting your body when I throw this shot, because that means I can throw this. You take that step while you're twisting your body, throw this shot, you twist, that gives me your back. I love that. Where do you want to hit me? Because I already know where I want to hit you. You got absolutely nothing?
I got absolutely
So
nothing.
you're going to throw those little feeler shots to see how I react. Okay. That's not a feeler shot for me because I know that there's nothing you can hit other than my face. I do that on you because your board moves. Mine doesn't. You want to know when mine doesn't move? I have a solid grip here. My forearm's connecting with the back here. My sword is pushing out here. So no matter where you hit my board, it's not going to move. But that's when I fight with all players. because they like kicking and crap. In Amtgard, I don't have to put much. I really just have a thumb on my shield. Okay, so my sword is still out here. My thumb braces any of that movement here. For you, your shield moves so much. Okay? So you pick where you want to hit. Not what you see. Okay, you want this hit?
Yeah.
So to get that, you have to move my sword out of the way and my shield out of the way. Okay. I'm going to pull up, no, just pull over here. Because you want the opposite quadrant. If I want to hit you here, that means I need your shield to go that way. I'm going to be here. So you don't have to actually hit the face, because I already know that's a big shot. And then you have a good shot at that. But that shot, when I throw the face, I push out here. So my sword, my hand, is already turned to make this shot. You know that this isn't a shot. Most people don't watch where your hand is, they watch where the sword's going. And then right into the turn.
That's my morning routine.
That turn is just turning the
And then I
on.
explained it to them.
And then
So
coming
that like my
in.
gums are what help you and everything. It's been really nice.
I don't want to wait for you to strike me. Historically, I do better.
Okay. So to do that, you have to give me some kind of bait.
I want to push into you to make you think I'm going this way and wait for you to pull a shot.
Okay. So because you're fighting Florentine and you're coming to me, I'm going to stab you. That is the hardest thing for you to block because it's a small point.
Yeah.
And I have the best chance of hitting your body.
Would I deal with that similar to how Marcus Hound do with pole arms? Push out, start in, push out.
Right.
If I try to block or cross, you're just going to twist.
Okay,
I want to come in, push out, then go for whatever I can until you can redraw your swords. I also know I'm good at hopping back, so as soon as your sword's back in position, I can hop back out.
Awesome. So that is my stab. You're pushing. I know that the return is here for me.
So I would want to side step towards you.
You want to have more control of my blade than just a little bit. So that I'm able to roll out of that really easily. You don't want to push out. Okay, so stab at me, I'll show you. Okay, I'm going to push down. I'm going to come into you, but I'm keeping my blade in contact with yours no matter where it's at.
So I want to keep pushing you.
Yes.
And so it's harder, so I want to, and then I can go for the
And
shot.
then you get whatever
I can
you
get
want.
arm shot, go for the shoulder.
Exactly. Where do you want to hit? You like the legs. Okay, so you missed.
That backfires against people's shields.
Yes, especially since you only have one sword. This is the first part of the class where I said if you throw up in my legs, I'm going to hit you in the arm. Because that's the closest thing to me. And then I get an advantage because I become a turtle and you become single arm. So I know historically people with long swords want to get that reach advantage without people being up to rush. So they're going to throw for legs. So I'm going to put my shield up higher. So I know you're throwing for a leg because there's nothing up here you can hit. And then when you start throwing, I'm going to push my shield into your sword and hit you a whole bunch. So what we want to do there is we want to fake for me. Most likely we want to fake for this leg over here, so my shield comes down as much as possible. So here, trade me. So it is light enough that you can use my hand. The only time I like doing shield is if I move real fast or I'm fighting somebody heavy. So if I want to hit your shoulder, I'm going to come down, come back up. The easiest way to do that is if you're fighting somebody new, you have to bring the sword all the way down and hit. If you're fighting somebody experienced, you can just drop, use your knees to drop as well, and then you can come straight down on the shoulder. Your blade doesn't have to come down here at all. So drop with your knees, drop it, and then I'm going to follow it. If you're fighting somebody like me, you don't even have to drop the, you don't have to throw the sword down. You're going to get the fastest reaction, drop your sword, and then pop the shoulder almost at the same time. Drop the sword, yes. The return for me on that is, I missed this, but I'm going to throw for this arm, because that's the closest thing to me now. So after you hit the shoulder, you want to bring your sword over. Yes. Perfect. So that's what you're practicing today. Hi, Chaco.
Hi.
Where do you want to hit me?
If we're doing this, my gosh, I have I think my favorite is probably that hip scoop right there. Yeah.
So to do that, you want to throw one sword over to the other side.
Other side.
This sword. Don't cross your sword. I'm going to pull. My return's going to be here. So there. Yes. So double shot. Just in case I block with my arm.
I gotta stop leaning.
No, it's good. Instead of leaning, you can take the step that way as well. Yeah, that way there's less chance I block with my arm and you're getting my back instead.
That's probably like my favorite one there. I do feel like I want to use that side a little bit more, but I don't know how well that is against shots.
If you want to hit that side, I would step probably over here to give you the return. I'm going to pull my shield over. If I'm going to be, throw to that side. You still have the block on this one.
It's already checked. We're going to send it.
Keep hitting with the right hand. If you want to do it the other way, take a step to your right.
To my right?
Yeah. Diagonal, never side to side. Diagonal. You want to get close? Step with your right foot, not your left.
Okay. Oh, switch step. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Right foot. Okay. I'm going to pull this way. You're going to fake with this one.
I mean, I recall mine.
switch steps are one of the things I need to work on too with my footwork.
So when you're going to a side, you always want to step with that foot. So if I'm going to my right, I never want to step with my left because I give you a whole bunch of back. If I'm going that way, I never want to do this. Always step with the foot in the direction you're going. That way you're not giving the back. And then it's just really like, if I'm fighting single sword, you want to go this way anyway. Putting that sword into my sword.
But not this. Okay.